Hello, it's Phil here in the Digital DJ Tips studio with a look at what's in this box, the Pioneer XDJ-RX controller. Now, this is not a full review of the controller, although I will show you bits and pieces of it. If you want a talk through the controller from the point of view of someone who's used to using Pioneer DJ gear in the DJ booth, then go and look at Mojaxx's review, which is really good. I've linked to it below this one. So this is kind of like something to look at alongside that more straightforward review. And the reason I wanted to do a slightly different piece is that I think what's in this box is pretty important for the future of digital DJing, because for the first time, Pioneer has come up with something that I think shows a clear pathway from the bedroom and the beginner DJ all the way to the Pioneer professional DJ booth. Now, there are ifs and buts in there, but this is something big and it's something special. So I want to show you around the controller, but just bear in mind that my focus here is on people who are maybe new to DJing and thinking, should I go down this new route? Or people who are returning to DJ thinking, is it still right to go and buy a laptop and some laptop DJ software and a controller? Or is this going to be something new for me? But also to people who are used to using Pioneer gear and are thinking, is it worth getting something like this, like what's in this box, instead of saving up, the 5,000 or so that you need to buy a full Pioneer set up at home. So a slightly different angle on this one. Let's get this lovely magma case off and have a look at what's inside to have our first look at the Pioneer XDJ-RX. So what you have here, essentially to look at, is two CDJs and a Pioneer mixer. That's what it looks like. The jog wheels are capacitive rather than the big clunky mechanical ones that you get on CDJs. And there are these they look like pads, but actually they're clicky buttons here to control cues and so on. This is straight out of controllerism, this kind of thing. And of course there's a nice big screen here straight out of controllerism. But the mixer effects, the beat effects, the layout of these units, it's so Pioneer CDJ it hurts. And that's a big plus point if you are used to using CDJs and coming to this unit, or you want to use CDJs in the DJ booth in the future, coming to this unit as a beginner, because the curve between using this and using Pioneer gear in the DJ booth is a lot less than, for instance, if you've learned on another kind of controller. This is a Pioneer controller as well. This is a little Pioneer. Get the lovely deck saver lid off there. This is a Pioneer WeGo. It's a lovely little controller. We reviewed it recently. Plug this in with Serato Virtual DJ. It's even got a slot for your iPad. You can DJ on something like this. Great. Pioneer makes all this kind of gear as well, this software kind of gear. But it's a big leap from this into the real DJ booth. It's not such a big leap, certainly, to look at the gear from this into the booth. So that's one of the themes of this review and this kind of discussion, really, about how this works. Setting this thing up really couldn't be easier, and I'm going to show you how easy it is now. So you grab your mains lead, plug it into the back. You take whatever output is going to your powered speakers, and plug it into your output. It's got master, booth, record, all the usual outputs on there. The unit boots up. You take your music on a USB like this. It's essential that you understand what I'm about to talk about. This has got music on it prepared on my laptop using Pioneer's Rekordbox. It says Rekordbox in big letters on the middle of this unit. Rekordbox is Pioneer's DJ software, but it doesn't work like DJ software that you and I know as standard. Serato, Tractor, Virtual DJ, and so on. Because you only use Pioneer's software to prepare your music, to do all the auto analysis, waveforms, BPM, key, all that stuff, which Pioneer's software will do, like any software does the second you introduce it to tunes, but also to do your personal stuff, putting your favorite cue points down, defining loops and that kind of thing, adding the metadata so that you've got the right information in the track for you. Making sure the cover art is there and all that kind of thing. So once you've done all that stuff, Pioneer's software then it becomes different to normal DJ software, if you like, because you output that library with your music, a playlist or the whole lot, whatever you want, onto your USB stick. And then when you arrive at your venue, this is the same for Pioneer Rekordbox enabled modern DJ gear, by the way, in venues, but also the same for the XDJ-RX. You plug it in and you press the USB button on the unit and your music appears. And that's it. We're now ready to DJ. So setting this thing up really is ridiculously simple. So it's time to have a little look around this unit now. So let's look at what we've got. So I've just put my USB in there. I can browse through the tracks on the library in the middle here. And this gives me the ability to choose pretty much all the same ways that you can sort. So you can sort by album, track, key, playlist, history. There's a search function which is really clunky because you have to enter, as I was saying a second ago, like a bit like a TV remote control. That's definitely one of the downsides of this. Or you can sort by folder. But let's just hit track there, and I'm just going to grab a track from here and load it onto the deck. Load it onto the deck by pressing a button, and it happens exactly the same way as would happen on any DJ controller. And there's my music playing through here. The control is really very, very good. It's as good as any DJ controller, as good as any Pioneer DJ equipment. Very responsive jog wheels. The lights in the middle show you it's going round. There's also a light to show you that you're touching it. It works absolutely fine. The play pause controls are responsive. The cues down here are nice. Now what you're hearing there is one of the plus points of this unit, which is quantize. Quantize is where it ties what you do to the nearest beat. And it can only do that in the same way software can only do that because the tunes are pre-analyzed. Now quantize is great when you're using cues as I was doing there, or using loop slice, because it just means that you can hit the buttons a little bit early or a little bit late and not really mess things up. And that is a big thing that software DJing has brought to Pioneer gear with Rekordbox and with units like this. And by having the cues down here and having this section down here, that's a massive nod towards the advances of controllerism. So quantize is turned on and off up here, by the way. So if you want to, have that old-fashioned, really tight control over your cues, you can do it that way. While we're looking at this lot, let's have another look down here. There's auto beat loop, so I can loop 1, 2, 4, and 8. I would quite like to loop 32 there, up to 32, up to 8 bars, because that's what I'm used to using on software. If you hold down the shift button, you can go right down to the little tiny loop roll style versions. There's also a slicer here, by the way. Let's just stop that going. There's also a slicer down here, which is like the loop slicer. It's called loop slicer, but you can turn it off into like a through the track slicer, just like you can get on Serato nowadays as well. So I hope you're getting the theme here. There's an awful lot of stuff coming in here from controllers. So let's stop that playing. So what else have we got on here? Well, this unit is very standard CDJ. So we've got our in-out for our manual looping if we want it, track search, normal search. By pressing track search or normal search and moving the jog wheel, you can move very quickly through the track. It's got the usual tempo adjust, really nice big Pioneer tempos. Master tempo, same as the key lock on DJ software. Now here's an interesting area. You have beat sync. So again, because Rekordbox has analysed your tunes, you've got full sync here, so it feels like you're using a DJ controller. I hope I'm getting that point across. It's Pioneer gear with Rekordbox, but it feels like you're using a DJ controller with a laptop. The screen is big, it's in 7-inch colour, it's not touch screen, which is where they missed a trick, I think, because they could have had a Qwerty keyboard on there for searching. It's one of my big bugbears with it, is that you can't do that. But nonetheless, it's a really easy to use screen with big waveforms, big display here. You can look at the information about your tracks on here. You can, there's my track information with the picture of the artwork and so on. It's really nice, and it's the first time I haven't missed having a laptop in front of me when DJing, especially when you load a track onto the other deck and then you can, let's load a track on there and I'll show you. So now we have both of our waveforms there. And they are parallel, so it's exactly the same as DJing on DJ software. I hope I'm getting this across. Browsing down there and using that instead of using a laptop really is no jump at all. It's no leap. There's no learning curve there. That's awesome. So let's have a talk about the mixer. The mixer is very standard Pioneer. If you've used a Pioneer mixer in the last 10 years, there's going to be very little here that looks different to you. Yeah, there's a big browse section in the middle so you can pick your tunes. But apart from that, we've got everything you'd expect. Really nice metering, crossfader curve switch, which is from kind of a very tight on-off to a more smooth switch. Crossfader is all right, it's Pioneer style, it's not up there with inner faders, but it's okay. We've got our headphones queuing here, no split queue, that's one of the things that's missing here, but apart from that, it really is pretty similar to any decent Pioneer 2-channel mixer. You've got the effects that you will know very much from any Pioneer mixer, so you've got the filter there on this big knob, color effects they call them. You've got the kind of beat crusher. There's a gate, and the kind of white noise effect, so beloved of EDM guys. And then over on the other side, we have the beat effects, which are the ones that tie to the beat, and they tie. You could tap the beat in if it hasn't guessed the beat, but you can tie this to, you know, 1 beat, half a beat, 4 beats, or whatever. So you've got the echoes and the roll, delay, all the stuff that ties to a beat. And to be fair, although digital DJing's always had that, so have Pioneer. Pioneer have always had a beat engine in their mixes, at least for quite a long time. So that actually isn't anything particularly new here, but that's there, all present and correct. So nothing unusual there if you're used to using Pioneer mixers. It actually is a real mixer. Round the back, you've got the standalone plugins, so you can put if you're coming to this from, say you used to DJ and you own CDJs or even vinyl, you have your decks here, you can plug them in around the back, and you can use this as a mixer just by switching over at the top here. So they've kind of thought of that as well. They've thought of people who would want to plug external inputs into it. So it's very assured, it works really well. The only thing I'm not happy with on this is no Qwerty keyboard. There's no touch screen, and there's not even a way of plugging a keyboard in. And mobile guys are going to want that. They have quite large collections with them sometimes, and searching through playlists using this is a little bit old-fashioned compared to what software DJs have become used to over the years. Okay, so what I started this review telling you was that I think this could be the start of something really big, a big change in digital DJing. And the reason I said that was that if a DJ buys this, now it's not cheap, it's certainly not within the realms of a lot of DJs, but a serious beginner says, you know what, this is Pioneer, it looks and feels like Pioneer, I want to end up DJing in the real DJ booth, I'm going to buy this to start with, I'm going to learn to DJ on this, and then I'm going to make the transition. For the first time, this gears up to it. Pioneer's previous Rekordbox controllers, the XDJ-R1 and the XDJ Aero, were all right. The Aero was a little bit gimmicky, and the R1 didn't have enough on it really to convert digital DJs, to make digital DJs think, hey, that's great, I want to use that. You know, they didn't quite hit the mark for me. This definitely hits the mark. It's almost perfect. What I want to see next is a bigger version of this with 4 channels and a touch screen, like off the Pioneer modular modern CDJ controllers, to solve that Qwerty problem, to solve that searching problem. And I also want to see a smaller version of this, ditching the microphone input, which is awesome, by the way, ditching the booth outs and the record outs and all that stuff, and squeezing it down into something that's more like a normal controller, not as small as this, but you know, more like the controllers that we see out there for digital DJing, and cheaper as well, but keeping the touchscreen. You've got to have that Qwerty thing. I want to see that kind of range of controllers like this, now that Pioneer has cracked Rekordbox controllers in the same way it cracked software controllers after a couple of stuttery starts. I want to see that, and I think when they've done that, there's going to be a fight on the hands for the software and laptop and traditional controller makers, because this, to me, represents potentially a really nice way to get into DJing using all the fun of controllers, but then end up in the DJ booth with a relatively short learning curve. The provisos about that are that I'm assuming that the DJs who end up in the DJ booth are using Rekordbox, and that is not always the case. Most DJ booths have Pioneer gear in. You know, that has been that way for a long time. But the number that have Rekordbox enabled Pioneer gear is a lot less. You might end up in a DJ booth with just CDJs that only take CDs, that don't even take USB. Now, if you taught yourself to DJ on this, by preparing your music, by using the sync button, by using all the stuff that digital DJing has kind of trickled into the Pioneer gear nowadays, if you teach yourself to DJ like this, and then you're asked to DJ in a DJ booth with CDJs in that you have to actually put physical CDs into them and play on, and there's none of that stuff, you're going to be just as lost as someone who learned to DJ on software controllers, frankly. So that learning curve is still going to be there for you guys, although admittedly over time it's going to become less and less likely that you'll find non-Rekordbox enabled stuff. And my second proviso is Rekordbox is very good, but it's not quite up there with the best software at the moment. It's not quite up there, even in the preparation and the beat gridding and so on. It isn't quite there. And outputting your music to USB, to using something like this, still takes quite a long time. There's still people out there who just don't want to use this. And if you decide that's you, then this system isn't quite there yet with that all the way from bedroom to DJ booth. But I think they've almost hit a home run here. I think this is a pretty important controller, and it'll be really interesting to see how the market takes it, and interesting to see what controllers Pioneer follows it up with to take this idea further. So that's my kind of talk through of the Pioneer XDJ-RX. We've got a full review of it over on the site. And if you've enjoyed this, you found this useful, then please do subscribe to this channel. And if you find digital DJ tips useful generally, please come and join us. We can give you loads and loads of useful stuff over and above what you read on the website. If you click the link below and join today, it's free. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again very soon.